Welcome to a Bass Musician Magazine video recap, live from this year's NAMM show. The recap starts now.
So Vaughn here again with Bass Musician Magazine, and we decided we have got to give a little Squire love, because if you haven't noticed lately, something that I've noticed is that the Squire line has really been rocking. I mean, they've been picking up like the pace, and they are perfectly fine instruments. I got a lot of buddies that are leaving out of Nashville on buses, bringing Squires with them. Who would have thought that? And so I have Brandon with me, who's a product manager with Fender, dealing with Squire, and he's going to talk us through the basses in front of me. So I'm going to hand the mic to Brandon and grab this cool girl.
Yeah, so these are all additions to the Classic Vibe line, which we launched at the beginning of this year with things like the 60s jazz bass, 70s jazz bass, a bunch of other models. So be sure to check those out too on the website. But for Summer NAMM, we have a few others just to round things out, starting with, of course, sort of the oldest, sibling of all the Fender basses, the 50s era P bass. And this is styled sort of like a 54 would be with the contour, so it has an arm contour and a belly contour. And then just a lot of the features that the whole Classic Vibe series has, like a tinted neck finish, nickel-plated hardware, brand new Fender design pickups that sound incredible. So it's just a 50s style P bass that's easy to play and very affordable.
Cool! My gosh, awesome feeling.
Yeah, and some just really cool kind of true to vintage touches, like this is a pine body that would have been in the 50s, and a tug bar, as it were. Because a lot of people used to play with their thumb, so that was a finger rest to use your thumb to play.
And if you want to, you can take your screwdriver and move it up here.
A popular mod, indeed. And then next we have a 70s P bass. This one's in the walnut finish, which is a really great 70s color, and has our once again, a brand new Fender design pickup, blocks and binding on the neck, beautiful, vintage tint neck finish. We did some new logos on everything, so everything's kind of updated and fresh and just looks really tight. Nickel hardware, just like everything else. So, for your 70s funk band, this is perfect.
Yeah, and you're right, the color is the quintessential 70s.
Yeah, we really wanted to do kind of true to the decade colors, and this is an example of that. And then adding in some interesting features, we chose to apply to a Jaguar Bass platform, which of course is not a true vintage Fender model. This came much later in the history of Fender, but we styled it as if it existed in the 70s. So block inlays, a black pickguard, dual concentric volume and tone. So there's volume and tone for each pickup, lots of control there, and then a PJ configuration with the P bass pickup that's in this bass and the jazz bass pickup that's in the jazz basses. So kind of a perfect, in-between model with the Jaguar body shape.
Yeah, I actually have an earlier model of this bass in my stable. I actually really like the PJ combination, and of course I love this one with the vintage tint on the neck as well. So cool bass.
And then lastly, one of the current favorites in Fender is the Mustang Bass. This is a short scale instrument, 30-inch scale, so very easy to play. We've chosen a very thin, playable neck profile on this. So it is, arguably the best entry point for a bass player, something that's easy to travel with or what have you. But once again, nickel-plated hardware, a brand new pickup design, and lots of really honest Fender details, like real Cosmo knobs that are really comfortable to use. These all have Indian laurel fingerboards on them, which is a really rosewood-like material. It feels and looks very rosewood-like, but without the headache that rosewood now carries.
No Sites treaties to worry about there, huh?
Exactly, and a few finishes available. So just a very playable, fun instrument that's true to vintage.
you've probably noticed that I'm about the size of the average female bass player. So this is like so perfect, man. I mean, for, you know, either somebody that's young or actually for what's these are great for anybody, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a unique sound. So even if you're, you know, playing full-size basses otherwise, this gives you another color in your bass palette because of that shorter scale. It has a little less sustain, right. So you get kind of a different tone, which is a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah, I actually I've got a vintage model that I keep flat wounds on. Talk about less sustain and a different sound, but they're great for that.
Yeah, perfect for that.
Well, cool, man.
So maybe we should play one of them, or two of them.
So I understand you're a bass player. We're going to actually put you to that. Which one you want to play? Pick one that you would say is your favorite.
Well, let's do the Jaguar. It's got a couple pickups to listen to.
Couple combinations.
Here's a variety.
Okay, cool. We'll be back. We're going to hear if he can actually play. So it seems like dude can actually play. Brandon, okay. I thought maybe you were, you know, kind of pulling my leg a little bit there. And something that I just got to say is I have been blown away in the last 2 or 3 years at the quality that Fender has been able to reach even at their lowest price points, which are, of course, the Squire series. And these, man, the Vintage Vibe instruments are probably the pinnacle of bang for the buck. It's like, why would anybody, you know, like buy a, you know, knockoff or anything else when they can get this? So, tell you what I'm going to have you do. Run through first a little bit on just the neck pickup, and then the bridge pickup, and then put them both in together. And let's hear kind of the tonal variety that we got. Sound good?
Here's neck only, full tone. Perfect for Motown, any of the warmer tones.
Yeah, sounds like a P bass.
Yeah, at that point it's a P bass, right? Here's the bridge pickup tone all the way up. Very articulate, great for soloing, great for, more intricate lines, right? And then both of them together, the best of both worlds, also a great slap tone.
Yeah, man, that quote piano-like tone there, man, with the lots on the bottom, lots on the top kind of thing. Well, cool. So, two things we've proven here today. One, Fender hires people that can play. We like that. And two, this series, the Squire Classic Vibe, yeah, is definitely something that I could see any pro using and not feeling bad about.
Yeah, and everything you heard, this is the same pickup in any bass that has this pickup, this is the jazz bass pickup, so any of the jazz basses have this exact same spec. Any of the P basses have this pickup in it. So you're kind of hearing what any of the instruments do, which is why I wanted to play this one, because you can kind of get an idea for the whole series. But yeah, these are designed for players. These are designed to be easy to play for beginners. So it kind of covers the whole range.
Yeah, the bass felt great. The neck feels great. It's got sort of that narrow jazz bass type feel up there. The action is really great. The frets feel like they're all, nicely dressed. So good quality instrument. And what's the price point?
These are $349 street. Some of the basses, as you get into things like 5 strings and things like that, get closer to $400. But everything's under $400 on the street.
Which is pretty freaking amazing. So cool. Thanks again, dude.
Thank you for checking out BassMusicianMagazine.com, the face of bass.